how you do anything is how you do everything. 5:18 in the morning. You guys. Today is my last day on the ICU service. I am so excited right now. You guys, oh my gosh. Today was such an amazing day. I just did my first lumbar puncture. Basically, patients with undifferentiated infections that you need to work up everything and anything, including an infection in this cerebral spinal fluid. You need to do a lumbar puncture. So it's a needle that goes in between your spinal bones. I'm like trying to say this in layman's terms so that everyone can understand what I'm saying, but I'm so excited. It's my first lumbar puncture. I got it within like 2 minutes. Basically, it was on my first try, my first puncture into the skin. I inserted the needle and like hit bone, and all you have to do is take the needle out a little bit and angle the needle a little more towards the patient's head or belly button, and then go back in. And that's all I did. I hit bone, I retreated the needle just a bit, I angled it towards the head, and then inserted it, and it kept going. And then I kept checking to make sure cerebral spinal fluid was coming out, and then kept advancing, and there it was. And my attending and I screamed so loud in excitement that, and like we're jumping up and down like little girls, like literally screaming so high pitched that the nurses out in the nurses station was concerned that something had happened to the patient. So they like ran in to check on us, and we were just like, no, we're celebrating because Lily got her lumbar puncture on her first try. So exciting. Like moments like this just remind me why I went to med school. Doing all these procedures kind of make me feel like maybe I want to do interventional radiology. I don't know. What I love about the fact that I'm a resident is that I have the option to do interventional radiology if that's what I want. So she has definitely planted a seed in my head to do IR. I just haven't decided if I want to yet. So I'm super excited about this. I think what's really great with working with attendings like this who trust you and have a lot of patience in teaching is that I get these opportunities to do procedures. Last week I worked with a different attending who really didn't want to work with residents, so I didn't have any opportunity to do any procedures. But I worked with this particular attending on my first week, and I got to do 3 paracenteses. So those are procedures that drain fluid out of the abdomen, and she let me do a lumbar puncture today. And I just feel like having that relationship allows her to trust me more, and then I feel like as we go forward with this week together, if other things come up, she will also allow me to do more. So I'm super excited about that, and I love working with her. I just love working with attendings like that who really help support resident education. I do feel like you as a resident and, you know, as a med student have to show interest and engagement. And if you do, then attendings will invest their time and energy into you. So that's really important. So what I've done is that I check on the patients that we have mutually. I update family, I put orders in, I get my notes done very early. So I lay this foundation to show her that I am working hard and that I am invested and engaged, and I have ownership over my patients. And that's an important thing because often people will show up on these rotations and just slack off and not feel like they need to be that engaged. And multiple times already I've heard from nurses that they've had residents that are not great. That's not the kind of standard that I have for myself. I always want to feel like whatever rotation, even if I'm not going into that specialty, I always put my best foot forward. Honestly, I have this philosophy in life that how you do anything is how you do everything. So I just want to make sure that when I go into these rotations, I put my best foot forward, and attendings notice that. I think other nurses notice that, and then they invest in your teaching. Anyways, I'm super elated. I'm so excited, and I just feel like it's such a wonderful and great way to start the week. For those of you who are new here, my name is Lily Wynn. I am a first-year resident. I matched into diagnostic radiology. I was a former registered nurse, and I created this channel to encourage non-traditional students as well as registered nurses to pursue medicine. I'm just in such a happy, excited place right now. Good morning. It's Tuesday. I'm going in to my ICU shift. Found out that I have a $1,000 fraudulent charge on my health savings account. So apparently somebody in Arkansas went on a shopping spree at Walmart with my hard-earned health savings account money and my debit card. So I work every day this week, so it's very difficult to try to take care of these things when you're at work for 12 hours. But I'm gonna try to find some time today to call the HSA account to freeze my card and dispute this charge because it's already been processed and pulled out of my account, which is so unfortunate. Part of residency is trying to navigate these rotations where you're working 6 days a week, all week, and you need to take care of things that are only open or available to take care of during business hours, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Sometimes if you discuss it and are open with your attendings, they will let you step out for appointments. Typically, if you're on a medicine rotation that is very resident dependent, like that's not going to be available to you because you need to be able to answer calls from nurses. The ICU here at my residency is not resident dependent, so I think that they will be very understanding and allow me to make the call if I need to today. I decided that I was going to take one of my vacation weeks on my ICU service. So I only have 3 weeks of ICU. Most people in other residency programs are on the ICU service for 4 weeks and not allowed to take vacation during their ICU rotation. I think that next year my residency program is going to change to that model and not allow people to take vacation during their ICU rotation. Got here to work. Let's see how the day goes. I received an email of my radiology rotation schedule for when I start my radiology training in July. One of the things that you will notice when you go through medical training is that you get super stoked to see what your schedule and rotations will look like. A lot of times you have very little control over what your schedule will look like, but you can request things. And when I was a third-year medical student, we used to do lotteries to request what type of rotations we want and when we will have them. So often people will strategize on doing like the harder rotations first so that they can kind of coast and relax the rest of the year, or say like intersperse hard rotations with easier rotations. Like, so it just depends. And then it's a lottery system. So you rank how you want your rotations to be, and then they release it on some day. And that release day is super exciting because then you get to see what your schedule will be for the rest of the year. And then you can compare it with all of your peers and see if any of your rotations match. That same thing happened with my intern year. So last May, I received this year's schedule and I was super excited to see when all of my vacations were. And a lot of times you do have to request vacation well in advance. I just am so excited. I love to see like what my year will look like. All I know right now is that my very first rotation is 4 weeks and it's going to be all neuroradiology, and that is arguably the most difficult and scary rotation in radiology because neuroradiology encompasses everything like that is in the brain, all of the structures in the head as well as the spine. So it's really intimidating because there's so many structures and there's so much detailed, tiny, intricate anatomical things that go on with the brain. So I'm super nervous about that, but I'm super excited and I get to see like who else, like what co-residents I'll be rotating with. That's all super exciting. My training officially starts in July. Today on the ICU was pretty uneventful. We didn't have any codes. I didn't do any procedures. So it was a lot of like going through and digging deeper into my patients' charts to see kind of what brought them into the hospital and what's causing their issues. And we have one case right now that's a bit of a medical mystery. Been kind of digging into that and I might end up writing a case report on it. That's one of the things too to keep your eye out for when you're a med student or if you're a resident is if you have these really interesting cases that are medical mysteries, you can write them up as case reports and then end up presenting them at research conferences as a poster, like interesting case poster. I did that when I was on my medicine rotation and I worked on it with another med student and he ended up presenting it at a state conference and my name's on that research project. I might end up doing that with this one, we'll see. And it can also be a really good radiology report because there were like some interesting radiological findings as well. Anyways, can you tell I had a good day? I had such a good day yesterday too. So I just feel like it's going to be, hopefully just sets the mood for the week. And it's my last week on the ICU. So I hope I just go out with a nice, good note. Okay, let's get home. I'm starving. I ordered some pho for DoorDash. I eat pho like once a week. It's one of those meals that if you ask me, what can I eat every day for the rest of my life? Like if I had to choose, it would be pho. I just love me a hot noodle soup. I don't care if it's 100 degrees outside. Black cherry vanilla sparkling water. I don't really like vanilla in my sparkling water, but my husband said they were all out of The thing with pho is you have to have all the condiments, like sriracha and hoisin, but you also have to have all of the herbs. That means Thai basil, cilantro, bean sprouts. Sometimes when I make my vegan mushroom pho, I use mint. I like it super spicy. It's so good! Yummy, yummy! I came home, had dinner, it's still Tuesday, and I'm super tired, but I need to move my body. Typically, I like to go for a run after work, but sometimes I'm just not super motivated to do that. I ran 10 miles on Sunday, so day before yesterday. I'm still a little bit sore from it, so I'm gonna get on my exercise bike and change out of my scrubs. It's so nice to have an exercise bike at home. We also have a row erg. I don't use that one as much because I get a little more bored on it. I think it's good for me to get at least 30 minutes of aerobic exercise where I'm actually getting my heart rate up. Indoor bike. My husband Chris is home. It's Wednesday. On Wednesdays we wear pink. I've realized that I did not go through my radiology schedule like I said I would yesterday. I think that with my ICU schedule right now, I don't know if I have time to even really sit down and explain it. So I might wait for next week's vlog when I am off on vacation and actually sit down and go through that extensively with you all. That might actually need its own video, so I'm sorry to disappoint if I'm not going to go through that this video. I will go through it next video and talk about every rotation that I'm going to have in my first year as a radiology resident, as well as vacation time, sick days, all of the other things and benefits that come with residency. My husband and I are flying out to Ohio so I can do my onboarding for my residency program. That's going to be Wednesday through Saturday of next week. So on Monday and Tuesday, I have those days completely off and I will be able to catch up on my life here. Sometimes you just need that, some reset days. My husband's family lives in Ohio, so we'll be able to visit with them, which will be really nice. I will say that flying out to do onboarding is not a usual thing for residency programs. It's unique to my program. And I may be a little bit bitter about it because, first of all, I have to use my limited vacation time to go and do this onboarding meeting, which I don't know, it's probably not going to take more than 3 hours. I do believe that most of these onboarding tasks can be done first week of residency, like most other residencies have you do. I'm flying out on my own dime. I have to pay for a car rental as well as accommodations. I don't think that that's usual for most residency programs. That's one of the things with residency that can be a little bit frustrating, is so much is out of your control and you have zero negotiating power. As a nurse, I remember when I got my first job, my entire relocation was paid for. My car was shipped. When I had moved to Rochester, Minnesota for my first job at Mayo Clinic as a registered nurse, they paid for even my hotel stay the week prior to me moving into my apartment. You just don't get any of those benefits as a resident. I'm relocating on my own dime. I mean, we are setting aside $5,000 to relocate. We're probably gonna ship my car. That's gonna cost $1,500. And all of that is not covered by the residency program. Hopefully I wasn't covering my mic the entire time, but pretty over these early mornings. When I get home from these shifts, I basically have like zero time at home to wind down. I have dinner, I try to rest for a little bit before I get a workout in, and by that time I need a shower and wind down for bed. It's 5:30. I'm done with my shift for the day. I feel quite tired. I am noticing a trend that I get pretty tired after my shifts on a Wednesday, but I was pretty busy today. There's a lot of conversations in the ICU about comfort care, and sometimes when we do aggressive measures to try to save people's lives, we're doing more harm than good. So I was able to be a part of a lot of comfort care, hospice, palliative care conversations this week, which was really nice. A lot of the conversations involve the families, and the patients are usually too sick to be a part of the conversation, unfortunately. But we always ask everyone in the room what they remember about the patient and how their life was like and how they were when they were living their best life, basically, and try to focus that on a positive light and then talk about what their goals are moving forward. It's been really enlightening. I wish I can reflect a little better about it right now, but I feel just so tired. It was a really great day. I had so much fun with my attendings. I just love them so much. It's so funny how much my ICU rotation has changed, because for my very first day where I was like on the verge of tears because I didn't know anything about the ICU and I was so scared of caring for critically ill patients, but now I'm just a lot more comfortable with vented patients and patients on pressor medications. I just feel a lot more comfortable with the environment, and I've gotten to know the nurses so well just because I'm making sure that I'm out on the floors checking in with them throughout the day. That's a really important thing for residents to remember, is make sure that you talk with the nurses and check in with them. They can really make you feel like a part of the ICU family, and I definitely feel that way, and it's bittersweet that my rotation's gonna end this week. It's so funny because like literally I could not wait for this rotation to end, and I just feel like so attached to the people that I'm working with now. I will not miss waking up at 4:30 though and doing this for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. I will not miss that. I'm happy to get my weekends back once this rotation is over. For the most part, I'm just so glad to have worked with such an amazing team. Well, I still work tomorrow and the next day, so we still have more of this to go. It's Thursday, 5:18 in the morning. It's my second to last day of ICU rotation. I have a wedding to go to on Saturday, and one of my best friends is coming to visit this weekend as well. My vacation officially starts on Saturday. Let's try to make the most of these last 2 days in the ICU. Shrimp scampi, broccolini, garlic bread. I am done with my Thursday. It was a full 12-hour shift and I had a late admission. I admitted a patient who was in diabetic ketoacidosis, and I was able to get the admission done in like less than 30 minutes, so that was really nice. And I thought I was going to be late because I got the admission like very late in my shift, and I thought I was going to be late leaving, but it's 5:30, so it's excellent timing. Otherwise, not too eventful of a day. We had 2 code blues overhead that were both canceled. Like I said, that happens a lot in this hospital, so. Green beans, rice, tofu, so. Hear me?
It's really good.
It is 6:30 p.m. I had dinner and now I'm heading to my sister's to do some lifting. I feel like my biceps and shoulders have deflated this month. I've been doing assisted pistol squats, and now I'm getting better at non-assisted pistol squats. Love seeing progress in the gym. Look who decided to join me lifting. Oh gosh. Hi.
But isn't it Chaska the game Among Us?
Whoa. Look. Wow. Are you so cute?
What does that mean?
Okay. Good morning. It's Friday. TGIF for real this time, because today is my last day on the ICU service. Let's make it a great day. Got 5 patients. I have a officially completed my ICU rotation. It was so bittersweet. I just spent a lot of time in my attending's office talking and getting to know her a little more. I ended up going around and giving all of the nurses a hug. I mean, they didn't want me to leave without saying bye, so I went around and did my hugging rounds. I got a bag of homemade cookies from one of my co-interns. Shout out to her. She makes the best homemade cookies. She gave me a bag and then several people on the unit a bag. But one of the nurses also gave me a box of Krispy Kreme donuts. Easter themed Krispy Kreme donuts. I just want to say, like, I feel like if you are engaged as a resident with all of the nurses, people just welcome you into the nursing family and treat you like family. I don't think that every resident gets treated like this by the nursing team. If you just stay engaged with them, trust them, take all of their concerns seriously, then they will take care of you. I've learned so much on this ICU rotation. I feel a lot more comfortable taking care of critically ill patients. I don't feel as nervous about it as I did 3 weeks ago. We have a lot of strong medications that help people who are critically ill stay alive, and we also have hard conversations about dying with dignity. It's been such a wonderful rotation, and it really took a 180 from me being on the verge of tears on my first day, just not knowing and being so uncomfortable with the environment, to honestly feeling like I'm thriving now. Almost sad that I have to end this rotation at this time. It's really been a wonderful 3 weeks. I've worked with some of the best people. Well, you know what that means. I get a week of vacation time. So excited. Tomorrow my best friend comes into town and I am going to a wedding in the evening. I will end this vlog here and continue another week in my life next week as a resident vacation week that will include me onboarding for my Ohio residency program. See you guys then. I almost deleted my video. Oops. Still learning how to be a vlogger.